Sayyid Farook. I have a PhD in Islamic finance and banking, and my current role entails advising the Dubai Islamic Economy Development Center and generally the government of Dubai with respect to its Islamic economy strategy. My role at Dubai Islamic Economy Development Center is to accelerate and facilitate His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum's vision of developing Dubai into a premier capital of the Islamic economy globally. That means overseeing a number of the projects that we undertake in coordination with the CEO and with the center's key project management leads and ensuring that they achieve fruition within the very aggressive timeline that His Highness has mandated for us. I think 2013 was a landmark year when it came to the Islamic economy. If you look at everything that happened before 2013 and everything that's happening since 2013, there's a marked difference in terms of people's understanding about the Islamic economy. Previous to 2013, you had all of this understanding of Islamic economics as a theoretical paradigm which didn't really have many real-world examples and practical examples of how you would implement such a economic model. What 2013 did after His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum's announcement to make Dubai the capital of the Islamic economy is that the term Islamic economy became a part of the common vernacular of professionals in finance, professionals in food, professionals in fashion, and now it's evolved into its own paradigm, which is very exciting. That's I guess the most exciting thing, that people are realizing what the Islamic economy is and the opportunity and the potential that it presents. I think that's the biggest highlight that the Islamic economy launch of that concept provided in GIES 2013. The second thing that was a very big highlight for the GIES summit and everything that came after that was the role of leadership that Dubai is taking in a number of areas, and one of which is in the elaboration of standards when it comes to halal food, pharmaceuticals, and healthcare. The Dubai Islamic Economy Development Center, the Dubai Municipality and the Emirates Standards and Metrology Authority were a part of the Standards and Metrology Institute for Islamic Countries, and they were a chair for some of these particular boards. What that helped is that as soon as the Standards and Metrology Institute for Islamic Countries elaborated some global standards with respect to food, the Emirates Standards and Metrology Authority adopted those pretty much wholesale. And so what we have now is, number one, a global standard for food and a number of other sectors that anyone in the world can adopt. And we are looking at other parties like Brazil and other countries in the world who are interested to adopt those standards. And what's important is that Dubai's mark, or the Dubai Halal mark, is largely basically a carbon copy of the global standards. So we have global standards, and Dubai is leading the convergence of that in a very dramatic way, which is very heartening to see. I think Islamic finance has a role to be a very strong driver of the Islamic economy, and looking forward it should be, but it hasn't, because there has been a delinking between financial system and its provision of capital and what the real economy needs. What's good is that within this overarching paradigm of the Islamic economy, those conversations are happening a lot more frequently, and the bigger conversation of how Islamic economy can power the real economy is becoming a lot more vibrant and a lot more frequent. So we're seeing this across the board, and we hope that it'll grow much more. But for that to happen, Islamic finance also needs to do a number of structural changes, and some of which may have to be radical, to become a driver of SME financing, because that's really where the real economy needs support. I think the first challenge, which is really also a motivation, a driver for the concept that His Highness has elaborated with the Islamic economy initiative, is one of perception, and that we face across all of the silos of the Islamic economy. So we face an Islamic finance where international financial practitioners and consumers all over the world tend to associate Islamic finance with terrorism financing because of the associations that Islam has as a religion to terrorism. Whereas the conclusive and the full body of the full corpus of proof suggests nothing to that effect. It is the same thing with food. Again, with respect to halal food, you have a perception that halal food is associated with Muslims and with Islam or some form of terrorism, and that kind of thinking that needs to is really holding back the supply and getting other people, and particularly the non-Muslim world, engaged in this, because this opportunity, the Islamic economy opportunity, isn't only for the Muslim world. The most critical opportunity ahead of us is making the Islamic economy related to two major initiatives that I believe Dubai stands for, and also the Muslim world would like to have, right? The first is to do with entrepreneurship and innovation, and the second is to do with mainstreaming this concept. With the first one, the vision should be about how do you get the Muslim world and the non-Muslim world to allow the Islamic economy and the demographics that the Islamic world presents to be a catalyst for innovation that supports it. So going back to the Muslim world's golden age, where innovation and creativity was the founding principle of the religion as well, when it came to supporting such things, and that's where the Islamic economy can play a role to facilitate that. We're doing that this year in GIES 2015. We have an amazing competition, Innovation for Impact, which will facilitate that, and we look to follow that up with a number of other initiatives to allow people to get also funding associated with that. The second issue is mainstreaming, and what I look forward to in terms of mainstreaming is that each of these respective silos and the Islamic economy in its entirety needs to speak to a wider audience that are not only Muslims, and to speak to that wider audience and to connect with them. That connectivity should not be about Islamic values per se, but the wider universal principles that Islamic values also stand for.